Some important dates we need to watch closely over the next few weeks. I have the full breakdown for you and everything you need to know right here in this video, so let's get into it right now. But really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to subscribe by hitting that button right down below the video, as I am your one and only daily advocate. I'm doing all the research each and every day, breaking it down into these short videos so that you can stay updated and tuned with everything going on during this very busy time as information continues to change very, very rapidly. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. And let's get right into the update. All right, so I do have a handful of very important dates here that also have very important announcements that we need to watch closely, because there are some things going on here over the next couple of weeks that I certainly want you to be aware of, because it's going to impact a lot of people right here in this community. So I want to walk through this list and give you a brief description of the announcements that we are expecting on all of these key dates. And again, I will be going through this list in chronological order. In other words, starting the soonest and working my way out into the furthest away dates. So let's work our way through these one at a time. All right, so the first date is actually something I talked about yesterday. I'll run through this one really quickly since I've already talked about it, but it is a key date here, and I know it's going to impact a lot of you here, so I want you to be aware of this just in case this is something that you need to do. All right, so I talked about this yesterday as an announcement out of the Social Security Commissioner. Starting on April 7th, so just a couple more days from now, the field offices of Social Security, the Social Security field offices, will be opening back up, where you can just walk in with no appointment, or if you have an appointment, you can just walk into the field offices. Now, these offices have been closed for about 2 years. So starting on April 7th, you can work your way back into those offices and do whatever you need to do. However, be aware they're probably going to be very, very busy, considering they've been closed for a couple years now. So this was just announced yesterday by the Social Security Commissioner, and just a couple more days from now, Thursday of this week, you can start walking your way into these offices and doing whatever you need to do right there. So check that out if you were interested in doing so, and that's just the date. Now, one more quick side note about April 7th. Again, I mentioned this yesterday, but just want to throw it out there. So yesterday evening, I was actually having a conversation with somebody down in the comments section, and April 7th was the key date that we all received our $1,400 stimulus checks last year. Remember that one? Oh, yeah, how could we forget it, right? The day where we got that $1,400. Oh man, that was such a nice time. Remember that day? You woke up in the morning, saw the $1,400 sitting there in your account, your bank account, your Direct Express card. Oh, that was a nice time. Anyway, we reminisce. We can only cross our fingers that Congress will come together and do something like that for us once again, even through this even more difficult time than what we were facing last year. But again, let's hope that Congress will do something. Anyway, let's move on now to April 9th. Now, this is another key date here we've got to watch closely. So, just yesterday evening, the Senate came out and approved a $10 billion COVID relief bill. Now, COVID relief bill is another fancy name or way of saying stimulus package. Now, this is exactly what they've called the stimulus packages in the past. However, the stimulus packages in the past have typically been in the trillions of dollars, right? $2.2 trillion, $900 billion, $1.9 trillion. However, this one is $10 billion. So, it's pretty small. But either way, here's the date though. So the Senate approved this yesterday. Even though they approved of this, it's not passed quite yet. So it's not fully passed yet. However, the key date that they're watching for this thing is April 9th. So the key date that all of these senators and people in Congress are eyeing up is April 9th. The key date they want to have this package completely done by is April 9th. However, of course, just like so many packages out there, a lot of people in Congress are actually coming out saying, yeah, I don't really know about April 9th. It might be a little bit of a stretch, considering this is a very, very week for Congress right now. But only time will tell. But anyway, that is another key date that I want to throw out there and let you know what's going on. All right, next, let's fast forward out to April 11th. This is another key date, and in fact, this one is going to be a big one for about 63 million beneficiaries of Medicare, including those people receiving Social Security, SSDI, retirement, survivors, all these benefits. So it's about 63 million people in total. Here's what it is. let me take that back. The Medicare must come out on that day with their final analysis on that Alzheimer's prescription, the one that cost $56,000. Remember that one? Well, they actually lowered the price to $26,000. But my point is, that is the date in which Medicare needs to come out and release their final analysis on that prescription item. Why do we care? Well, we care because this is the date in which the Health and Human Services Secretary may also be coming out announcing a reduction to the Medicare Part B premium for the 63 million beneficiaries. Right now, the Medicare Part B premium is $170.10 every single month. Well, that's a lot of money to be paying, right? We're crossing our fingers that that premium is going to be reduced by about $10 or $11 each and every month, possibly. However, the April 11th is the last day in which Medicare must release their findings on this, and then based on that decision, the Health and Human Services Secretary will be also making a decision, will that Medicare Part B premium be reduced? Therefore, if it is reduced, that just means more money in your pocket each and every month when you receive your benefit. It just means that they're going to take out less for the Medicare Part B premium. Therefore, you would get a little bit more in your pocket each and every month, right? Kind of makes sense? So ultimately, it would result in maybe a little bit of a raise to your benefit. Not like your benefit will go up, but rather the distribution of your benefit would actually be more in your favor, if that kind of makes sense. So anyway, I'll be watching that date very closely because I know a lot of you here in the community are receiving Social Security benefits. And as I get more information on that, of course, I'll break it down for you in these videos. All right, the next day is April 12th. Now again, another day that we've got to watch here very closely going forward. April 12th is going to be another big one, and this is the day in which the CPI number is going to be released. What does it stand for? The Consumer Price Index, otherwise known as the inflation number. Now, it is anticipated that this number is going to come in around the mid 8% range. By the way, this is for the month of March. So it's going to be a big number, and we're going to have to see how much is inflation still raging right now as we go forward. So not really a good number that we want to watch and, be all that excited about. We're certainly not excited about it, but it's certainly a number we need to watch closely because it's going to give us a glimpse into what is inflation doing right now and how much more has it moved up in the month of March. Well, it's probably going to be a pretty big number. So anywhere between about 8.3 and 8.5% is the consensus right now. We'll see where it lands, but that'll be coming out on April 12th. Next, let's move out to April 15th. Again, another key date. You might be thinking tax day, right? No, actually, it's not tax day this year. That's another date here that I'll point out in just a minute. But April 15th is the next day that I want to point out because this is going to be another big day here. Now, this is the date in which the Public Health Emergency Declaration is set to expire, unless there is an extension to that. But as of right now, I have not seen any indication that the Health and Human Services Secretary or the administration is coming out talking about an extension to the Public Health Emergency Declaration. As of right now, the end of the day of the 15th of April, it will be expiring. Therefore, this is going to it's going to have some pretty major implications if this thing does actually expire. A lot of things are are in jeopardy. About 12.9 million Medicaid beneficiaries may be losing benefits. For those 14 states out there right now, still sending out the extra $95 SNAP allotment. SNAP being Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, otherwise known as food stamps. Yep. That allotment will be coming to an end for those 14 additional states that are sending those out right now if the Public Health Emergency Declaration is allowed to expire. So that as well is very important. So there are some key things coming out. Also, as I mentioned yesterday, for those of you who are Medicare beneficiaries, you can go out there starting yesterday and you can start buying COVID tests at your local pharmacy, up to 8 COVID tests each and every month. However, they're only going to do it in the event the Public Health Emergency Declaration is still in place. If that expires on the end of the day 15th, well then you can't go out and buy your 8 COVID tests anymore. Well, you can, but Medicare won't pay for them. So anyway, you got to be aware of that as well. So yeah, that's another big date we got to watch here closely, as I know it's going to impact a lot of you right here in this community. Again, as I get more information, of course, I'll be right back here for you, breaking it all down and helping you out in any way that I can. All right, so one more key date here is April 18th. That is tax day. Monday, April 18th, the big old dreaded day, tax day. Dun, dun, dun. Uncle Sam, he's coming for you. or more like he's coming for your bank account. I hope it's zero. Well, I'm kidding. I hope your bank account is not zero. I hope it's flush with cash, but I'm just saying, if it's flush with cash, you better get ready to write a big old check. But anyway, my point is, that's not really totally true that way, but I don't know. I was trying to make it a funny, I don't know. I was trying to make it funny, but obviously it wasn't very funny. My point is, April 18th is tax day. So if you're somebody who is required to file a tax return, please be aware that is the date your tax returns must be submitted by the end of the day, April 18th. But again, this is not tax advice. This is not accounting advice. I am not an expert. I'm just some guy on the internet. I was going to say something else, but I probably shouldn't say that. Anyway, I'm just a guy on the internet. So my point is, this is not tax advice. But just remember, tax day is April 18th. If you're somebody who needs to file a tax return, or if you have missing stimulus checks from last year, or if you are still awaiting your child tax credit allotment, the other lump sum payment, if you're waiting for that, if you're waiting for a tax return, if you if you worked last year and you have some money that you're waiting for, fill it out, send it in, get all that stuff done by the end of the day on the 18th so you can get that money from the IRS. Right now, the IRS is sending out tax refunds, and the average refund is a little bit over $3,200. And they've processed, the last number I saw was over 50 million returns that they've processed so far. I'm sure it's going up by, quite a few every single day, but that's just the last number that I saw. So, yeah, check that out. There's a lot going on out there right now. But, one more thing too. If you're waiting for a tax refund, according to the IRS, it takes about 21 days for them to process your return. So if you submit it today, just be aware it's going to be about 3 weeks from the time that you submit it until you receive that tax refund in your bank account, provided it is direct deposit. If you're waiting for a paper check, it's going to be a lot longer. If you submit a paper return, well, it's anybody's guess at that point when your return could actually be processed and when you may get your money. So just be aware of all of that. Things are backed up right now, but yeah. Anyway, these are the updates that I have for you as of right now. Of course, there probably are more key dates out there, but this will bring us through the next 2 weeks or so. And as I do get more information on any of this stuff, don't worry, I'll be right back here for you, breaking it down and to help you out in any way that I possibly can. So again, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to subscribe down below. I'm very much dedicated to you in this community. I truly want to help you out in any way that I can. I'm doing all the research that I can every single day, and I come back here, I break it down into the shortest possible videos. Sometimes I even speak too fast. Honestly, my brain can't even keep up with my lips, if that makes any sense. I don't know. So anyway, just subscribe. That's all that really matters. I'm here for you and to help you out in any way that I can. So enjoy your day. Thank you so much for watching. Share this video with your friends, family, social media. Stay tuned for the updates on all of these dates as we get work our way closer to them. And feel free to go back and check out any of the other 2,300 plus videos right here on the channel. Enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you again later in the next update.